So with the 2021 Vikings NFL season starting, right? It's just around the corner. Next Sunday is when it starts. The Vikings having a pretty tough schedule, but week 1 against Cincinnati in Cincinnati, how do you think that they're gonna do?
They're going to lose.
Really? You think they're gonna lose week 1 in Cincinnati? I mean, Cincinnati isn't a high, it's not a S tier team. You think they're still gonna lose?
Yeah, the Vikings have traditionally had a hard time opening their seasons on a road. And you have a team with Joe Burrow, who's just come off an injury, and he's got something to prove. You got Jamar Chase, who does not like to play second fiddle to Justin Jefferson. LSU was a perfect example of that. And so you're going to see that the Bengals are going to come out ready to play in the AFC North. And you have to remember, too, have you not seen the Vikings secondary in preseason? Yeah, they're going 0-1. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think that the Bengals do have an elite wide receiver set. They got T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase. With Joe Burrow throwing the ball, I mean, you can't really have a better quarterback, wide receivers set than that. However, the problem is that the Bengals had the worst offensive line in the league last year. And when you have the worst offensive line and then you don't, get a first-round pick for a tackle or a guard, Joe Burrow is going to have no time to throw the ball. And when you have these playmakers that can make, 25-plus yard catches, doing crazy stuff, if Joe Burrow doesn't have time, they can't make those catches because Joe Burrow can't throw it. And with the Vikings' new, revamped defensive line, I think it's just going to make it even harder and even worse for the Bengals' offensive line. So I can see the Vikings going 1-0 against the Bengals.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the Bengals at home. So, yeah. So, we're going to go ahead and I'm choosing the Bengals.
Yeah, and for me, I'm gonna choose the Vikings. To me, it's almost like a no-brainer almost. Now, second week, Arizona. In Arizona, not to mention the Cardinals in Arizona. I mean, this is already an insanely tough game. I mean,
you are funny. Okay, go ahead. Let's hear what you got.
I mean, I don't see the Vikings winning this game. I mean, their defensive line is already insane. They got J.J. Watt. I mean, if you think Patrick Peterson might even sort of handle DeAndre Hopkins, it's just going to be a field day for Kyler Murray and D-Hop.
Well, here's what I can tell you. Vikings, again, do not do very well away, especially on grass. I don't think Murray is going to be able to escape the Vikings' pass rush as much as you think they are. I still agree with you that I think the Vikings are going to end up being 0-2. So I'm going to take the Cardinals, and you're taking the Cardinals as well, too?
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals. It's a no-brainer. However, week 3 in Minneapolis against the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, if you watched it last year, we had basically no pass rush, no defense. We were very, very slow too, and we lost on a 4th and goal. First of all, we lost on the 4th and 10 where DK Metcalf caught the ball over Cameron Dantzler, and it was a blown play because he thought DK was already running past him, and then he tried to run faster than DK and outran himself, and then it was a 4th and 10. It was that if we got both of those 4th downs, it would have been ice. So I see the Vikings winning this game. It's just.
So you got the Vikings. And I'll
yeah.
tell you, traditionally, you would think that Seattle would have their way with the Minnesota Vikings. However, this is at home. You've got, hard hitting in the secondary. I'm going to go on the limb here, and I'm going to take the Vikings as well, too, over the the Seattle Seahawks, just because of the fact that it's in Minnesota, and I think the defense can get after Russell Wilson. I'm a little bit nervous about Metcalf and our younger, smaller secondary, but I have the feeling the Vikings are going to go into this game 0-2. Again, this is my opinion, but 0-2, knowing they need a win to keep up with Chicago and Green Bay. Not too worried about Detroit right now, but I think they're going to go into that week 3 knowing that they need a win, and I think they're going to pull it up. It's going to be a close game. I believe it's going to be a 21-20 game, but I feel that the Vikings are going to pull that one off.
Now, week 4 in Minneapolis again. Cleveland Browns, my opinion, most rounded team in the NFL. I don't think that their defense is bad. I don't think their offense is bad. However, I don't think that they're there with like any elite material besides maybe their run game with Nick Chubb, and I think that also might be a big problem, because if the Vikings defensive line doesn't really perform, then they're just going to run all over us. I mean, all day, Nick Chubb is going to look like Dalvin Cook last year. It's going to be a massacre. However, if the linebackers and defensive line are able to stop the run game, I can see the Vikings winning that game. However, I just don't think that the Vikings are going to be able to do it. I think the Browns are probably going to win this game.
So you're taking Cleveland.
Oh, I'm taking Cleveland.
You're taking the Cleveland Browns in Minneapolis. I just want to make sure that I clicked this correctly. Okay, here's what I can tell you. The Vikings defense will stop that run. It is going to be loud, very loud there, and this is one that we do not agree on at all. The Vikings are going to win this game, and don't be surprised if Baker Mayfield's going to have to throw the ball a lot, because they are going to stop the run, especially in the first half. Don't know about the second half, but the Vikings are going to win this game.
Now, week 5, still in Minneapolis. I mean, we had a 3-week home stretch. Vikings, I think that they're going to win against the Lions. I think the Lions are rebuilding right now. I don't think anybody really sees them as a elite team or even like a decent team, to be honest, yet. However, they do got some stars like TJ Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift. I don't think that they have enough yet to pack a punch. Plus, it's in Minneapolis. I think Minnesota is taking this game.
So you think the Vikings got this, and I think I agree with you as well, too. Historically, the Vikings have owned the Detroit Lions. I don't think Jared Goff is happy in Detroit. He's away from Southern California, and I agree with you as well. The Vikings are going to take the first game with the Detroit Lions. Yeah, that's we don't really need to talk a lot about that one. I just feel that the Vikings got Detroit at home.
This one is a very, very interesting one. I mean, right before the bye, week 6 in Carolina against the Panthers, who have Christian McCaffrey back, which people might think, oh, yeah, Christian McCaffrey is back. You know, he's going to run all over the place and do all this. Mike Davis is not a bad running back at all. And if you saw, like, he was still putting up amazing numbers. We beat them last year, and I don't think that they're going to be able to come back and be able to top anything that we can do. So I think that the Vikings are going to win this in Carolina right before the bye.
You're going to take the Vikings over Carolina in the heat on grass. Okay, alrighty. I think I'm going to take Carolina. Okay, just because, again, this is the difference between me and you and our generations, that the Vikings, again, Carson, you have to understand, the Vikings do not do well, especially in the NFC South, on grass. I'm going to take Carolina.
No, that's actually very, very interesting that you have them winning against the Browns but then losing against the Panthers, when, in my mind, the Browns are an exceptionally better team than the Panthers. However, that's just...
Here's the variable. You've got Cleveland going into Minneapolis in that arena to where, I'll tell you, U.S. Bank Stadium is going to be loud. And how they react, I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to do well with that crowd noise. Now, don't get me wrong. If Carolina was going into Minneapolis, I might lean that direction, but not in Carolina on that grass. It's going to still be warm down there. And like I said, that's why we do this, is so, you've got the Vikings, I got Carolina. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, now, week 7, we get the bye, which I think is, it's decent to have a bye week 7. And coming out of that, week 8, Dallas are coming to the Minnesota Vikings. And we know them Cowboy fans, those Dallas Cowboy fans are something else. However, the Cowboys have an elite offense. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. Amazing players. The defense lacking a whole lot. However, that offense is impeccable. Now, this is where, for me, this is a must-win game, because if you lose this game, I think you kind of fall the rest of the season. So, right now, the Vikings, the defensive line and the offensive line, I think, have improved so much. And I think that was the problem last year. And I think, to be honest, the Vikings would be able to pull this one out. It's in Minneapolis, both coming off their byes. It makes sense to me that, a 4-2 team coming out of the bye, going 5-2, would almost create a cascading effect, and they'd be able to win games after that. So I'm taking Minnesota over the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys.
That sounds like you are being a fan. You just listed all the reasons why Dallas should win. You even listed a bunch of premier names, but yet you took Minnesota, and it sounded like because of their front defensive line and because it's at home.
Well, think about this. Dak Prescott had an ankle injury. And people who have ankle injuries can't really put pressure on that ankle for a certain amounts of time. He's going to have to be in the pocket. He can't roll out as much as he did before because of that ankle. I mean, we know that from first-hand basis. People with ankle injuries, they slow down, especially when they are running a lot. And this is, he might have some time to recover. It's after the bye, but he's going to have to be in that pocket for a lot of time. And with the defensive line that we have, remember, same thing like the Cincinnati Bengals. When you don't have the offensive line, or when our defensive line is just playing amazing, I can just see the Vikings getting to Dak Prescott and getting to Joe Burrow.
I think it's going to be a very, very tough game. And here's what I agree with you, is that I believe it's going to be a must-win situation for the Minnesota Vikings. And you know me, I'm a lot older than you. I remember the old Roger Staubach Hail Mary to Drew Pearson. Cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys. And just because I cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys because of the history from the 1970s of the Minnesota Vikings, I'm just going to take Minnesota. Must-win game at home. And I don't like the Dallas Cowboys.
Week 9, going into Baltimore. Very tough game, and they're coming off of their bye. Extremely tough game for the Vikings. I don't see them pulling it out. I don't think we can even stop Lamar Jackson. His speed is deadly. Marquise Brown is deadly. J.K. Dobbins, not even to mention the defense. The cornerback that they have, I don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure his last name's Humphrey. Amazing cornerback. He is outstanding, can strip the ball like no other. Absolutely amazing. I think we're just going to fall flat, be on our heels. 5-2, maybe get too confident. I think we're losing this game in Baltimore.
I agree with you. No argument here. It's going to be tough. They're well coached. Lamar Jackson, he is a big physical quarterback. You're going to see an awful lot of him running. Vikings are going to have to come up, maybe even put 8-9 in the box. We don't even. It's a Raven. It's a Raven victory, and it's going to be embarrassing for the Vikings. Don't be surprised if it ends up being a
blowout.
31-17 with a give-me touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I am in agreement with you on this.
This game, extremely interesting, too. Next couple games are very, very extremely interesting. Week 10, going against Los Angeles Chargers. I see the Vikings winning this one. However, this is going to be a tough game. Austin Eckler, one of the best running backs in the league. And then they got Keenan Allen, Mike Wallace, and Justin Herbert on the field. I think that they're going to be running a whole lot of offense. I think that's what it's going to be, a whole lot of offense. However, I think that Justin Jefferson might want to try a little bit harder in this game due to the fact that Justin Herbert won Offensive Rookie of the Year. However, that's just my opinion. I think he's going to want to show who really was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and that you can still be a wide receiver and have some high accolades to your name.
I will tell you, I am glad that this game is at home. Is it at home or is it?
No. It's in LA.
It's in LA. Okay. Ooh, gosh.
Oh yeah.
Again on grass. Herbert throws.
Yeah,
he throws a nice pass.
He does.
He's tall. He's serious. I really like him. I actually got him on my fantasy football team. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. Are you picking the Vikings over the LA
I'm
Chargers?
picking the Vikings.
Okay.
It's going to be a very close game. I mean, it's going to be a nail-biter. Come down to the last 5 minutes. I think the last 5 minutes is actually going to be a testament to the Vikings defense to see if they are.
Yeah, I see this as high scoring as well, too. I see this as high scoring, and it's going to frustrate Vikings fans. I'm a huge Vikings fan. Always have been. I agree with you that I think the Vikings are going to pull it out in a nail biter, but it's going to keep us Viking fans on the edge of our seat, and until the clock goes 0-0-0,
that's when
we're going to be worried.
Relief.
But
yeah.
I believe that it's going to be a 31-28 Viking win, and it's going to be a defensive tip ball at the end. But I'm going to take the Vikings as well too.
So Week 11.
Oh,
Green
God.
Bay Packers. I mean,
Packer week. I hate it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in Minneapolis, I think we always split with the Packers. Like normally we split. We go 1-1 with each other. I actually don't see the Vikings winning this game, even though it is in Minneapolis. I think we're not going to be prepared.
You're taking Green Bay.
Oh yeah, and I think
At home.
I think Aaron Rodgers might be a little PO'd from just all the stuff going on with Green Bay and all that. I think he might be a little PO'd. He's going to be like, oh, no, I'm going to give the Vikings one more a little punch to the gut. But it's going to be this week where he's going to come out. He's going to sling the ball to Devontae Adams. However, I might have a different opinion for the next game in Lambeau.
Wow. Okay, so you're taking Green Bay. Okay, here's what I can tell you that I don't like about Packer fans and how close Minneapolis is to the Wisconsin border. They fill up U.S. Bank Stadium a lot. The Green Bay Packer fans do. And I think what's going to happen here is I think it's going to be too loud. I'm taking the Vikings in this one because, again, they know they have to win this game. I think it's going to come down to the end. I think it's going to be a defensive stop. But I think the Vikings and the Vikings fans and this home game, I think they're going to pull it off. I think it's going to be, again, a 28, 27, 24 game. And again, remember, I'm biased because I can't stand the Green Bay Packers being a Vikings fan. But you're going to see a lot of Packer fans in that stadium, and they're loud. I believe that the Vikings are going to win this one.
Now, another tough game in San Francisco, Week 12. Vikings versus 49ers. Now, 49ers did not have a good season last season, but we all know why that is. Injuries, cursed that team. I mean, it was devastating. Now, 49ers have a pretty dang good defense.
A lot of people are picking them to win the Super Bowl. A lot of analysts are picking the San Francisco 49ers to play against the Chiefs or the Bills in the Super Bowl this year.
Now, I don't think that's going to happen, however.
I'm just letting you know.
I don't know if that will happen. However, they're still in my opinion, they're still a top-tier team, with the addition of Trey Lance over Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's going to be an amazing player right there. Trey Lance is going to be amazing. And San Francisco, against the defense, I actually think we're just not going to even be prepared to see what the 49ers have. I think we're going to lose this game. Back-to-back losses.
So you're going to take San Francisco
Oh,
just
yeah.
because you're looking at it as a football analyst and saying
Oh, I'm
there's
looking.
too much firepower. San Francisco's got it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in San Francisco, so you're taking
I mean,
them.
yeah, and the player, like I said, Trey Lance. They have Raheem Mostert. They got George Kittle. They got offensive weapons to the max, and they got one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, it's if they're able to stay healthy and be able to perform like they did when they went to the Super Bowl, I think that they're going to be an insanely tough team to beat.
God. Oh, God. If I'm going to look at this game as well, too, as an analyst and not as a Viking fan, and I think you're right. I think there's just there's too many variables that the Vikings have to overcome. And besides that, who's a Viking or a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Oh,
And
big
so,
mother.
so we're just going to have to take, and pick the 49ers over the Vikings for her, even though I will be wearing my Viking garb, my Adam Thielen jersey, because I wear my Adam Thielen jersey because it's my white away jersey. But yeah, I agree. I think there's just too much for the Vikings to overcome, so I'll take San Francisco as well.
Detroit Lions, Week 13. Like I said, Lions are rebuilding right now. They are in a state of, just trying to gather up players again to see if they can get back to where they could be. And in Detroit, I see the Vikings winning it. However, I don't think it's going to be as easy as Week 5. I don't
Really?
think I don't think it's going to be a nail biter. However, I think they're going to come out, they're going to score a touchdown, and maybe even get a 10-point lead on us. However, the Vikings coming out of the first quarter are going to be like, yeah, let's start picking up the pace. Like, it's going to be almost humiliating to the point where we get kind of PO'd and start punching them in the mouth.
Well, there's no Stafford there. He's in LA right now. You got golf there. Boy, so you're going to take the Vikings over Detroit.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to take Detroit because I feel that the Vikings always love to split games with their rivals. So I'm gonna take Detroit on this one. I think it's gonna be a Kirk Cousins sack for a fumble, and they pick it up and they roll, and that's when you're going, this is why the Vikings are who the Vikings are. Like I tell you all the time, Carson, it is tough to be a Vikings fan, but at least we stay on the bandwagon of the Vikings, and then we don't get off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Detroit. You've got them winning, which is good. I'd love for you to beat me in Week 13, but I have the feeling in Detroit, especially depending on how the season's going, I feel that Detroit Lions are going to win that one.
Now, for me, if you look at my schedule, Vikings for me are 7-5, and going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who in my opinion are probably the most overrated team in the league. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster on TikTok doing all them dancing while they're 13-0. I mean,
but do you think he's learned from that? Do you think he's
no.
learned not to do that stuff and
no.
be a distraction?
No, and either way, I don't think that they're going to be a top-tier team. I mean, they might win games, but I do not think that they're going to be able to,
Okay, so it
I don't
sounds.
think that they're going to win in Minneapolis. I mean, Minneapolis, one of the hardest stadiums already to compete in with the fans, the horn, I mean, and it's just going to be super difficult for them. And for me, an overrated team, I think that the Steelers are definitely taking it now.
So then, AFC North. It sounds Week 4. You're loving the Cleveland Browns. You think they're going to take the AFC North? Who do you got in the AFC North?
I see
then?
Cleveland definitely taking that. I mean,
You do
Yes.
over Baltimore.
Yeah. I
Okay,
do,
so
actually.
you've got the Cleveland Browns winning the AFC North.
Yes,
Okay,
I
I just want to
definitely-
make sure
I-
we're clear on that. So
and-
you're
and-
going to take Pittsburgh. Okay.
No, I'm taking the
You're
Vikings.
taking the Vikings. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? It's at home. I like the Vikings as well too.
I think the Vikings
After
are
all that, yeah. I was trying to get you fired up there, but I'm taking the Vikings too. And I don't know if it's going back to the 70s as well too, but I like the Vikings at home, especially probably a must-win game for them at home, U.S. Bank Stadium. They need to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now, these last 4 games are the most important 4 games in the season. One, you're going against Justin Fields and the competitor to getting into the playoffs, in my opinion. I think that the Chicago Bears are going to be the people that we have to beat in order to get to the playoffs. It's either we're going to be, the 7th seed or we're out. That's how it's going to be. First game against the Chicago Bears, I think we're going to lose this game.
So you're taking Chicago. Now, you keep saying Fields. You don't think Dalton is going to be the quarterback at this time? You think Fields? You think Dalton's already going to be benched by this time, week 15?
Oh, yeah, I think unless Justin Fields gets injured or something like that, or something happens to him, or maybe he just doesn't perform as well, I cannot see, I cannot see the Vikings coming out and being prepared for what Justin Fields. We got ran over, last time we played them, we got ran over on Monday Night Football when Kirk Cousins got the first Monday Night Football win by Cordero Patterson as their running back. They didn't even have David Montgomery. They had Cordero Patterson, who was going crazy on us. I mean, he was definitely hot. Now, Justin Fields, if he's injured, if Andy Dalton's in, maybe Vikings can squeak it out. But
this is a Monday night primetime game.
This is
And the Vikings, oh God, it kills me. And the Vikings don't do well.
Yeah, I can't.
Primetime games. So I'm gonna take Chicago. Okay, next game. What do you got?
LA Rams. I mean, this right here is just difficult. This is like the Baltimore game. We got Matthew Stafford at quarterback. I mean, man's got an arm like no other. He reads the field. He's good. He's experienced. He knows what to do. He's got Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp on the team. Not to mention Cam Akers is in there. The problem with that, I think we might be able to slow him down just a tiny bit. The problem is Jalen Ramsey. And the thing about Jalen Ramsey is that he is the best cornerback in the league. I mean, anyone who says otherwise, it's just lying. Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback in the league. And if he shuts down Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson, it is going to be tough. They already got a good defense. It's going to be hard. Aaron Donald coming off the edge. We're going to have to run the ball. Dalvin's going to be tired. But the problem is that because we're getting down to the most important games, we're going to be subbing. We're going to be rotating our running backs. We're going to be Alexander Madison's going to be there. Dalvin Cook, even Kene Nwangu could even get in there. It's going to be a battle in the trenches of the offensive line versus defensive line. Now,
it sounds like you're taking the LA Rams.
But this is the thing though, is by this time I think our defense is going to be decent enough to slow down Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, because Brashad Breeland, I think he's going to by this time be almost an elite level cornerback. I mean, he's going to go crazy. He's going to go off, and I think Matthew Stafford might have a little hard time throwing the ball over the middle because of Eric Kendricks. He's going to have a tough time throwing the ball over the top on the right side to Harrison Smith. And when you kind of already know that it's either going to be a short pass underneath or it's going to be a deep pass to the quarterback's left side, I think you kind of know what you do in practice. Xavier Woods is going to be his game where he either shows out, plays some amazing defense against Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and all of that, or the Vikings are going to lose. This right here to me,
you're picking the Rams.
I'm picking the Rams, but it's going to be a toss-up. I mean, it is going to be whoever touches the ball in the last 3 minutes is going to win the game.
Do you know what the scariest variable for me in this whole game is Stafford. I've been a Vikings fan for a very, very long time, and Stafford was the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, and he had crap. I'm going to say it. He had crap a lot of years in Detroit, and he's pulled up a lot of wins.
Oh, yeah. He's Scary.
against the Vikings. All that other stuff. The Vikings almost beat LA a couple years ago in LA when LA had all that talent. I'm going to take the Vikings. And the reason why I'm going to take the Vikings because it's at home. And for some reason, when the Vikings have to beat Stafford, they can beat Stafford. So I'm taking the Vikings in that one. And like I said, that's who I'm scared of. I ain't scared of their coach. He was nice and fresh a couple years ago and very innovative, but not anymore.
No.
These young coaches, the league is figuring out what these young coaches are doing. I like the Vikings at home. I think when Danielle Hunter is going to have a big game week 16 against the LA Rams.
Now the Vikings have entered the playoffs. Even though it's only
the playoff zone, huh? That's what they've entered, the playoff zone.
Even though it's week 17, we're not even in the playoffs yet. This is the playoffs for the Vikings. The Vikings need to win these next 2 games. In Lambeau, we did it last year. We shut them down.
But what week was it? It was warm? Was it warm?
No. It was because we lost the first game against them, and we were like slowing down. We were 1-5, so it was week 6? Week 6, or actually it was week 7. Week 7, and we came into Lambeau and beat them. Dalvin Cook had a field day. I think.
Oh yeah. If I remember correctly, didn't at the end the defense come up?
Yeah.
Where what was that guy's? Oh man, that defense. Where he came behind and Rodgers was supposed to throw the deep ball and he fumbled. Yeah.
Okay, DJ Wanham, rising star.
So you're taking the Vikings.
Yes, I have to. They have to win this game, and judging by the fact that we did it last year, I'm pretty sure we got this one.
No one wants the Vikings to beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau more than myself and back in the day, Brett Favre. However, if I'm a betting man and I'm just strictly looking at this as a football analyst, Green Bay is going to win that game. It's going to be cold. It's going to be your traditional run game. Green Bay is going to win that game.
Now, this is it. In Minneapolis, going against the Chicago Bears. This is who gets into the playoffs right here for me. Like, 100% without a doubt, whoever wins this game is going into the playoffs.
You think Chicago is that good? You think that court?
Yes.
You think the Chicago Bears are going to be better than the Green Bay Packers?
No, I don't think they're going to be better than the Green. No, I'm not going for the division leader. I think Packers are going to be the division leader. This is for the number 2 seed and the
a chance for the playoffs.
Yeah, and judging by the other NFC divisions, I think that we're going to be able to have like the third. Like the 7th seed. I think we're going to have the 7th seed. And this right here in Minneapolis, we're going to be prepared this time, though.
Okay.
Because we know what's coming at us. We understand the assignment in that this right here is the playoffs. We either win this game or we're going home and we're coming out, hard. Daniil's going to be fired up, mad. Zimmer's going to be fired up. That defense is going to be locked in. And when I mean locked in, I mean I see them shutting them down.
You're thinking pedal to the metal all the way through 4 quarters.
Oh yeah.
So definitely. You're taking the Vikings.
I'm taking the Vikings. This is what they worked for. And I think Kirk Cousins might even come out big in this game.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take the Vikings as well too because they are at home and it's going to be cold outside. I'm glad this final game is at US Bank Stadium. Let me ask you something. Who do you have in the Super Bowl? Who do you like in the Super Bowl?
Well, the Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL. The Chiefs are one of the best.
Okay, so that Chiefs your AFC team then?
Well, Chiefs and the Bills. Those 2 teams are both extremely, extremely good. I'd even put the Browns up there.
So tell me, who's your AFC team that's going to the Super Bowl?
I'm going to have to give it to
Think about it. Okay, what about the NFC? Think about the AFC for a moment.
NFC, I think who's winning the NFC is definitely the Buccaneers. Just because they made it there, last year.
I'll tell you. And I love their defense. That linebacker, White, number 45, love the way he played. And he is a tone setter for that defense.
Big. He's like Eric Kendricks almost.
I agree with you.
Maybe even better.
I have I've got the Buccaneers representing the NFC, and I have the Bills representing the AFC. They have all the pieces of the puzzle to represent the AFC, and I will tell you, I'm going to be very, very sad if the Buffalo Bills end up winning the Super Bowl
Before we do.
before the Minnesota Vikings, because the only thing that the Vikings have going to the Super Bowl 4 times and losing all 4 is that the Buffalo Bills went 4 times in a row and lost every one of them. So as much as I love Stephon Diggs and what he did with the Minneapolis Miracle, I hope that it's the Buccaneers and the Chiefs, but I do think it's going to be the Buccaneers and the Bills, and then I can just hope that the Buccaneers repeat what they did last year, and that defense is rock solid. Now, I can tell you from my understanding, all the defensive starters are returning this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so that's good news.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll shut out the Buffalo Bills. So, NFC, AFC, who's going to the Super Bowl in your opinion?
I'm probably going to have to go with the Chiefs. I mean, they're still elite. Patrick Mahomes is still, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league. There's just no one better than Patrick Mahomes. And then when you have speed like Tyreek Hill, you can't beat that duo. Not to mention they also have probably the second, I'm gonna say the second best tight end in the league. I like Darren Waller a little better, just because of his size and his athletic ability. Now I'm also looking at your schedule. You're betting on a lot of home teams. If you look, you're mostly on the right side. You don't think that the away teams are gonna win any games.
For me, I think home field advantage is huge. I think it's key. I took a lot of variables that if the Vikings are going to go play on grass, if the weather holds up. I mean, you have to remember, too, we're betting on Kirk Cousins and not screwing anything up by not getting vaccinated where just by NFL protocol, he gets to miss some of these games because he ends up getting COVID. I mean, nothing against, one way or the other on the vaccination. It's just the NFL protocol and how he could be sitting there benched. And who do we have as a backup right now? That's right. I don't even know. I think it's
Kellen Mond.
Oh, yeah, Kellen Mond. That's right, the rookie. And he will get blitz like there's no tomorrow, and he'll be tucking the ball down and trying to run.
I was gonna say he'll be able to take off with his feet. Now, the ceiling for the Vikings to me is not that much, higher than what it kind of already is. I kind of think that this right here is almost like an exaggeration. I think the Vikings right now, looking at our schedule, I think that this is probably the best that they can get. I mean, they got to be playing top tier. However, if we're going best case scenario, I think the Vikings may or may not beat the Bears twice, so they'd be 11-6, and they might be able to beat the Arizona Cardinals week 2, just because of, early in the season, mishaps, all that. So they might be able to go 12-5. I think that's my ceiling for them. Those are the only 2 games where I can really see them, and like the floor for them for me is also like that one is extreme. I mean, I can see them losing to the Seahawks, the Browns, obviously. Maybe even the Panthers, the Cowboys, Chargers, Bears twice. I mean, their floor could be 5-12, and the ceiling is 12-5.
Yeah, we could be talking that the Vikings could be 1-5 starting the season.
They could be worse than the team who's rebuilding and the Detroit Lions. However, I think with that much talent on the Vikings, I don't think that they're going to lose any more than 7 games. Mm-hmm. However, like I said, if you're looking at it from an analyst, they could go 4-13, 5-12.
Well, here's what I can tell you. The one thing that the Vikings have going for them is there is no dominant team in the NFC. I know you talked high about San Francisco. We mentioned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But here's what I can tell you. Both of those teams can be beat.
Oh, yes.
Especially...
I mean, last year, we played the Buccaneers. We dominated that game.
That was in Tampa Bay. That was in Tampa Bay as well.
If you look, we absolutely dominated against the Super Bowl winning team. We had 40 minutes of possession to their 20, and our kicker missed 3 field goals.
Well, we got to see what happens. here's the thing. I am looking forward to football again. Absolutely love the Minnesota Vikings. Always been a fan. Excited about the season started. We just got to see, what happens. But I can tell you, I am so absolutely happy that football's a week away. It's a week away, and I can't tell you, this has been fun. This has been real. I love talking football with you, as well as, talking Minnesota Viking football. Let's hope that the team stays healthy. Let's hope that, both of the times that we picked the Minnesota Vikings, through these schedules, I know we've got some things that are different, but I hope at the end of the day, they win more than we both predicted. So with that said, I appreciate this. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you having me on here, and be safe. God bless America.
Skull, production value.